All right, so in this next module, we're going to talk about how to guarantee you get better at copywriting. So, first thing that you need to do is you need to remove your emotion. Okay, results are all that matter, and your emotion has nothing to do with copywriting. And the problem is I know copywriting is this thing where you can get very attached to your ideas, you can get very attached to your concepts, to everything that you're creating. But the problem is when you become overly attached or emotionally attached to the ads that you create, they start to cloud your judgment and they start to kind of create a reality that you want to see, where you tell yourself it's better than it actually is, where you have to just consider the results are the results, and that is all that matters. Okay. And so again, the emotional writer is someone who's like, I think this headline is better, or like, I think this sounds good to me, or, but I really like this ad, right? At the end of the day, you obviously are going to have a lens where you think headlines are better, but that lens needs to be corrected by what is actually converting and what is actually, again, establishing a position or reinforcing it or building brand. Okay. And then the non-emotional writer is the one who basically, lets the market decides what is good and what is not. Okay. Again, your job as a copywriter is to test, measure, and let the data tell you what converts. And then again, most importantly, use that data to complete the feedback loop. So that way you actually know what better looks like. And you can actually say like, yeah, this does sound good to me because of this reason. Right. And I really like this ad because it's converting. Okay. So remove your emotion from the ads that you write if you really want to become good at copywriting in general. And it's so funny because I saw this guy that was like, my ads are really good, but they're not converting. And this was in kind of like our smaller community. And I was like, dude, think about the juxtaposition. I was like, good job. You used the juxtaposition there, but it's like really good, at least to me, really good and not converting do not belong in the same sentence. Okay. And so my point with this is there is no, but I like this, or this is really good. Have your emotion attached. It's like you have to be focused on the end outcome. Okay. The next section here is that you need to write no matter what. Okay. And I took this from, I don't know who I took it from. I should have the credits somewhere. It's probably one of the guys that I've already sourced, but some days the writing will come easily and some days it'll take sweat. It's a really good quote. Again, at the end of the day, what this quote means is that the reader doesn't care if you wrote for 2 minutes, 2 hours, 2 days, or even 2 weeks. Okay. The ink will look the same to them. And I love how visual this text is of like the ink looks the same, right? It's better than saying the copy because it's like the words will look the same. They don't know how much time you spent on it. They don't care either. It's like, as long as the words say what they want them to say, or like they actually resonate with them, that's what matters more. Okay. So in days where it comes easily, this is just kind of my little addition, let it flow and don't stop yourself from writing. Like if you have this kind of urge of creativity, or you have this kind of, feeling where you just want to write, just write and let it flow. Okay. And the days that it is harder, again, what I would recommend that you guys just try to push through to get it done. Try to write something, right? Write no matter what, try to write something. And that's going to come into kind of this next little daily practice thing that I'm going to actually challenge all of you guys to do. And as a result of, filming this copywriting program, I'm actually going through this as well. So I'm kind of doing what I'm saying because I personally also want to come better. As I've kind of established and become more of a business owner rather than a copywriter, I haven't had time to write a lot of ads, but this is something that is very serious to me because I think copywriting at every single level is powerful. And so for me, I want to also, do this practice, which is why I'm doing it. And what this is basically like a 90-day sprint, right? Now, if you want to set this down to 30 days, I would rather you set it down to like a number that you can actually handle. But ideally, if you do this for the next 90 days, you will be better than 90% of copywriters. And I love the 90 and 90. I feel like that's a cool and kind of fun way to go through things, where number one, what you need to do is you need to just read a piece of copy. Okay. And not just read it and move on with your day, like actively read it, analyze the subtext, like what is being communicated, like really look at the copy, right? When somebody says, and I know I use this headline all the time where it's like the natural deodorant that performs like a toxic one. The reason why I like it is because it's simple for everybody to understand, like, what is that actually communicating, right? Don't just read that and then move on. Be like, what is that communicating? Oh, it's communicating this. Oh, it's communicating that. Interesting. Okay. Now that you've analyzed that, and you've kind of looked deeper at great copy, ideally great copy and good copy, but it could be any copy in general. You can also be like, wow, this copy communicates nothing. That's probably good for you to see as well. right? Then the second thing that you want to do is just write a page of copy. And in this instance, I would just say like, try to just write an ad. That's what I'm doing. I'm just going to try to write an ad a day. But again, it doesn't have to be for an ad. It could be for a landing page. It could be a tweet. It could be, anything, right? Hopefully not a story Discord message asking me questions, but try to write a page of copy with intent, all right? And again, I'm going to be doing this for ads because ads is where I'm going to be focused on, but just try to write a page of copy. Okay. And even, for me, like it could be a YouTube video, like try to write a script for a YouTube video, right? Like really think through what you're writing. Number 3 is come up with an ad idea, right? So here are my ways. And this is the one that I've kind of adjusted because I think for Joe, he originally had it as come up with an idea just in general, which I still would encourage. Like just ideas in general are great. But for me, I'm just trying to force myself to come up with that ideas. Like, how could I come up with that idea? Well, I can just do some customer research. That'll probably give me an ad idea. I can analyze another brand's ads. That'll probably give me an ad idea. I can analyze my own ads or the ads that my team made. That's probably going to give me ad ideas, right? I can read a marketing book. Probably going to give me ad ideas. I can get stopped on my scroll. If I'm just brain rotting, I might get stopped on my scroll. Like I saw a video the other day when we were watching YouTube where it was like, this hook was like, can I make a better chocolate bar than Mr. Beast? Or like, is there a better chocolate bar than Mr. Beast's? And I was like, damn, that's a really good hook because he's leveraging the authority of Mr. Beast in a very ethical way. And I really, really like that. So I saved it. And that gave me an ad idea for what I could do for one of my other brands, right? So these are ways to get ad ideas. And I think the more that you try to search for ideas, the better that you'll become as a marketer. And again, if you can write those ideas and turn them into actual ads, better you'll become as a copywriter. Okay. And now the final thing that you need to do is you need to schedule it in your calendar. Okay. And I literally mean this. So if you guys aren't using a Google Calendar, I'm literally going to show you guys how to do this. You guys need to go to calendar.google.com and you need to set this up. You guys have potentially seen my calendar. Maybe you haven't. I have my entire day mapped out. Like today, right now in my other calendar, this is just a test calendar. This is literally what my day looks like. It says trench day. Okay. And Thursdays for me are literal trench days where from 8 a.m. to basically 8 p.m., I do nothing but deep work. Okay. But then here I even have something that's called respond to messages. Okay. And if you want to get really advanced with this stuff, what you can do is you can start to create categories. And so here, if you click this, you can see this says Easy A Team. But what I can do is I can add a label. Oh, look at this. Well, let me just call this like task work because task work, like responding to messages, needs to get done. My point with this is hopefully you guys don't have as many calls as I do, but you could start to create these categories. And so what I want you to do is don't do it in the morning because you'll probably sleep in. Do it during a period, unless you are a morning person, then go ahead and do that. But do it during a period where you can just turn everything else off. And let's just say maybe after lunch, every day after lunch, or every day before lunch, or maybe every day before dinner or after dinner, whatever it is, you just add a slot for an hour. Okay. Because I'm a child, is I like to add little emojis because it helps me visualize what I'm doing. Like I can quickly scan and be like, oh, I'm copyright. Okay. And so here you're going to come in and you're going to add a label. And again, you can create a new one here and you could call this copywriting and you can title it green because it's going to make you money. And now what you can do is you can make this a repeating item on your calendar where you say this will repeat every single day. You can go ahead and save that, right? And now what's going to happen here is I just realized I didn't actually change the event. So here I've got to go and I've got to change the event to copywriting. I'm going to click save this and all following events. Now, if I go to my next week, you can see that I have a block from 1 to 2 p.m., just like how I would if I had a call to go and do copywriting. And you guys have to make sure that you really lock in on this stuff. And if you want to lock in super hard, you can use a tool like Opal, where you come in and you can see, I can't even open my Discord right now. As much as I love to open my Discord, it will not open. Can't do it. If I want to go to my email, it says, nope, not allowed, bro. So lock in and have a timer on Opal. And I think there's a free plan, but just create a block that also says, okay, from 1 to 2 p.m., block everything on my computer, block my Discord, block these websites, block the ads manager, block all this stuff, and let me just lock in on what I need to do. And I promise you guys if you just do this every single day, you would be amazed at an hour a day. Now, I know there's the 10,000 hour rule, and I know some of you guys are already copywriting a lot more than that, but like really take time to set aside time for you to actually get better, whether this is 1 hour or 2 hours or 3 hours or however much time you spend on it. You need to make sure that you're actually setting aside time to do these 3 things, which is, again, read copy, come up with an idea, and then write a piece of copy. right? Because essentially what you're doing here is you're analyzing, you're executing, and then you're ideating, which are like the three most important things when it comes to actually creating ads that can scale. So if you don't have time blocked in your calendar to do this, you need to. And again, if you're trying to develop this skill, this might even be longer. You might have a 2-hour block of writing here. You might have another 2-hour block of writing here. And I would recommend that you guys try to build out your calendar. And then when you do it this way, you can actually get insights as well, where it tells you where you spent your time. So for example, this week I spent 1 hour doing task work, 1 hour doing copywriting, 1 hour doing whatever it is, right? So it's a very, very helpful way to actually execute and bring some of these ideas to life. Okay. So that is everything for this module. Again, this is how you can really guarantee, and you can see this is actually a screenshot where like every night I was working on the copywriting program because nighttime is where I have time to do things. So I want to share this with you guys because it's a very great way to get a lot of deep work done. I know a lot of you guys might have a lot of other things. This might be your number one priority. So if it is, then great. Then you should look at this as like a copywriting day, but it's very important to make sure that you organize your days on what you're doing and locking in on, again, something that is very, very important, which is copywriting.